Hey YouTube land, it's Tychondrous here doing another action figure review. Now this is for the 2020 SpinMasters DC Batman Universe Batcycle with Batman vs Clayface. The Caped Crusader. It is the first for their, well at the time of this recording, is one of the first figures that they've been releasing. And you can see up this corner of the box when I showed it has first edition on it. And basically what these are is Mattel sold the DC license, or lost the DC license for doing figures. They were doing the Batman Missions lines, and now this company SpinMaster have basically taken over from them. And so the figures I have, well, this is the only figure I have so far. The only two things I've seen up on Amazon, which is where I got this, was this set and the Batmobile, which doesn't come with any figures. So I wanted to get this to see what the figures are like. So if I just move everything off the side for one moment, I'll just bring the packaging in. So you have this large window box packaging with the figures are showcased inside. You got the DC Batcycle, then Batmoto, Batman vs Clayface. The company name is down there, SpinMaster. Up on the top, if I just bring it in there, you have the first edition, and if I flip around to the back of the box, you have an artwork image of Clayface coming out of a wall and Batman on the Batcycle, and it just says Creature Chaos up in this corner. Sure you see that there. Batcycle, Battle Clayface, and then its artwork on the back, and then it has all the legalese stuff. And says includes one Batcycle, one exclusive Batman figure, one exclusive Clayface figure, and 2 accessories, which I'll get into in a minute. On one side of the box, you have an artwork of Batman in the kind of classic blue and grey, and on the opposite side you have mount the figure and defend against Clayface. So, bring the figures back in for a second. But just before I go on about the figures, one thing I want to note is here is a packaging for Two-Face from Mattel, and you can see that the actual color scheme and everything around the Batman Missions line, they kept the coloring, so it has that faded transitional grey to dark grey, black to dark, dark grey to white. You have the same Batman logo, everything pretty much looks the same, so the only difference is you just have SpinMaster as the company name. Even if, actually, right, bringing that back in, even if you flip around the back of the box, this is the back of the box, the Batman Mission stuff, they all had artwork, which is exactly the same as this one as well. So it looks like nothing's really changed, other than just the company, the parent company that is manufacturing the figures. So if I just bring in, this is one of the Batman figures. If I bring in the Batman figure and show them, they actually look like pretty much the same sculptors are working on the line as well. Doesn't look like they changed much over, which is something I noted when I first saw this line. It looks like the design, they've taken the design cues straight from the Batman Missions line anyway. The other versions of Batman look a bit more closer to the Batman Missions line stuff. This looks like one of the specialized Batmans, in which case it is, because it's a exclusive to this set, and he doesn't have the open face on the cowl, it's just enclosed. Now the one thing I will say about these figures is the cloaks are a bit kind of papery. Whatever material this one's made out of anyway, I don't know about other Batman from the line, it kind of has that kind of very, it doesn't have the same kind of give as the material one as these, as the 12 or the 6-inch Mattel ones. It seems very papery. Even this older Batman, this is a Mattel one from, I think, Batman Unlimited goes to the line. It came with a transforming motorbike. His one is actually, you know, cloak is a lot more soft goods than this. This has kind of a papery feel. Kind of almost feels like the old was it Superman, Man of Steel capes had that kind of very, oh no, it was the Justice League Batman had a kind of very plastic feel cape. But getting sidetracked, I will bring in the tape measure, good old trusty tape measure for the scale. So these are supposed to be done in 3¼ inch, 4-inch scale. So you can see Batman stands just around the 4-inch. Now Clayface is actually quite small. I was kind of hoping he'd be bigger, because usually Clayface is depicted as being kind of bigger in cartoons and stuff. So he's only around 3.5 inches. So he's actually smaller than Batman, which is kind of weird. I would have expected a character like Clayface to be massive. Even if you look at the version of him on the back of the box, he looks far more bigger than Batman on the back of the box. But for whatever reason, they went with this smaller one. Well, I can understand why, because this guy takes up most of the weight in the box. He does have peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Now, he is limited on articulation. He doesn't have anything in the legs. He has just a swivel in the waist. He does have a head swivel, but it's like, it just looks weird if you swivel it. It's pretty pointless. You can get some side to side, but you know, it would have been just as easy just to leave it static and give him the leg articulation. He does have a ball joint in the arm, so you can put his arms up that much and down that much. Nothing in the elbow, nothing in the wrist. And it's the same on the other side. So he has this big mace arm, which you can put up like that or rotate like that, but there is nothing else in the arm, so he's very limited on articulation. But he does take up most of the weight of the box, as I said. The Batbike is very light. The accessories that he comes with is these claws, and that's pretty much it. So the Batman is quite nicely articulated. His arms can go up that much. They are on a ratchet as well. You can't really hear it on the screen, but he does have a ratchet. The elbows are single jointed and get a good 90-degree bend and a swivel. Nothing in the wrist. His head is on a ball joint, but it can really just swivel. It can't really do up and down. Nothing in the torso or the waist. I said his arms can go up that much. His legs can go forward that much. Not so much back because of the sculpting of the suit. He does have, I just pop him out the side, he has a upper thigh swivel, and he has a single jointed knee, which again is on a bit of a ratchet. So he does have that. Nothing in the ankles, but you can get some good posing. He does have peg holes on the feet. Now the bike doesn't require any peg holes for him to sit on it. He just sits on it, and if I just move the arms down, his arms are supposed to designed to sit on these handlebars, which isn't always the easiest thing to do. But you can either have him, it looks like these are supposed to be footrests, so you can have his legs like that, or if you want, you can just stretch the legs out straight that way and have him sitting on the bike like so. If I can just get him on the bike with the handlebars. He does hold the handlebars, so you can get him on the bike. The cloak you can kind of just squeeze in that way or just leave loose, whichever way you want, but he does have that. Now the one thing I will say about this figure as well is if I just flip him around to the back, he does have a big giant peg hole on the back of his body, and there's a corresponding hole in the cloak. So I'm assuming this body might get reused for something else, or it's intended for those blind box accessories that come in the standard single carded figures. Again, unfortunately I don't have any of those. His weapons don't really store in it, and they do have pegs but they don't fit on it. He does have these giant claws, as I said, but they do look a little awkward. The way he's supposed to use them is they have a peg and they just slot into the hole on the hands, and it looks kind of awkward. If the wrists had been swiveled, it would have looked better. You'd be able to kind of match it up to the hand, if you know what I mean, and have the hand swivel that way. But because of the way it is, it just looks kind of awkward. But you can hold both of them and do slashing action if you want. So He's not too bad. He is kind of a kind of an off greeny grey colour. He's not exactly black, but he has black accents, and the paint apps are quite nice. The silver and the white for the eyes aren't too bad. He doesn't have too much in the way of paint apps. I mean, like, from here down, it's just black plastic. Same with the elbows. From the elbow down is black plastic, so they didn't actually have to paint anything. The only paint apps is the waist here, this bat symbol, and I believe that's pretty much it. I think maybe the bit around the head, and on the head, the eyes, and the head itself is painted. So overall, it's not too bad. And then for the bike as part of this set, just bring in Mr. Tape Measure again, and it is around 7 inches. So it does, and height is around, to the top of the highest wings is about 3.5 inches. So it's quite nice. So just for size comparison, I have a few other Batman figures. So here is that Batman again from Mattel. This is a multiverse Batman based on the 66 suit. So you can see they do scale kind of nicely together. Just move the bike back a bit so you can get them into shot. So it's not too bad. And then just for the bike, there is no moving, well, there is moving parts in the wheels. Those are the only moving parts. There's no kind of pull apart bits or anything. Rolls nicely enough. It's very chunky, very lightweight. The plastic is kind of fairly hollow on it, so it's not too bad. Paint apps are quite nice. You have this, it's almost the same greyish colour as Batman himself. It's not a gunmetal colour. And then you got the silver, the bright silvers for the, I suppose you call them guns at the front, even though Batman generally doesn't use guns, so we'll call them beanbag cannons. And then you have like the bat wings, bat logo on the gas tank, bat logo down here. So it's all in all quite nice. And it's not a bad sculpt. It would have been nice if the front fairing kind of moved, but it is what it is. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video review for the Batman Batcycle set. Now this is the, as I say, the SpinMaster's 4-inch figures. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I say my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Cheers, guys.